We know that, according to the Bible, man has hope after death. But do you know what happens to animals when they die? Well, you're in the right place. At this point, we must answer 3 questions. Do animals have souls? Does the soul die? Do animals sin? Many believe that animals go to heaven, but the Bible only speaks of a certain number of people who will go to heaven, not animals. In Revelation 14 verse 1 it is said that only 144,000 will go to heaven together with Jesus Christ to rule the earth. The rest will live on our planet forever, as Psalm 37 verse 29 says. Nowhere in the Bible is there talk of a heaven for animals, but taking into account these 2 hopes, that of living in heaven or on earth for all eternity, let us see what must be done to enjoy these privileges and whether animals are capable of doing so. According to Hebrews 3 verse 1, it is said that to live in heaven you must receive God's invitation, and animals cannot do so for 2 reasons. The first one is that they cannot obey God's commandments, and the second one is that they cannot put faith in God, nor in His Son Jesus Christ, because they only act by instinct. As for living on earth, we must assume that human beings were the only ones created in the hope of living forever, for the Bible teaches that both animals and people are souls. Numbers 31:28 says, "And levy a tribute for the Lord on the men of war who went out to battle, one of every 500 of the persons, the cattle, the donkeys, and the sheep." Did you notice? Animals are put into the soul group, so in their case, the soul is not something separate from their body. But if his body and soul are one, then does the soul die? Ezekiel 18 verse 20 says, "The one who sins is the one who will die." So the soul does die because in itself, it is life. In short, people cease to exist for a while because they have a hope, but animals do not. They do not receive this hope. They cease to exist forever and simply become dust. But on the other hand, we must also consider that animals do not sin. Sin is any action, feeling, or thought that goes against the Lord's standards, but in order to do this you must have the ability to make decisions on moral issues, and animals cannot do that since they are only driven by instinct. So, in conclusion, according to the Bible, when animals die they return to the dust, and although they have not committed sins, they do not go to heaven nor do they have the hope of resurrecting to live forever, they simply cease to exist. What you have just seen and heard is just a fragment of another video. If you want to see it in full, just click on the center screen.